endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So drawing directly from the DOI, the repetitions at 52, 53, 54 of we should also has resonances. I want to point out that at the bottom of paragraph 49, we have the basic needs outlined. Equality of opportunity for youth and for others, jobs for those who can work. Let's point out, guys, that this speech, which was, as we noted at the very beginning, given in 1941, right? We're coming soon to 100 years ago. Is it still true? This is what all humans need, not just Americans. Equality of opportunity for youth and for others, jobs for those who can work, security for those who need it, the ending of special privileges for the few, the preservation of civil liberties for all, the enjoyment of the fruits and scientific progress in a wider and constantly rising standard of living. It seems this is something we could argue is still germane today. Let's now jump to level 1. Summarize this speech really quickly. It is, of course, a three-part speech, is it not? 1. He makes the observation that now is a time of great concern for the United States. Why? Because there were certain individuals who are arguing we should just stay out of everything that's happening in Europe with Hitler and Germany and all of that. And you can clearly tell right away FDR is saying absolutely not. Number 2, he stipulates what the obvious problems are. Specifically, we cannot allow dictators, notice he uses this word several times, to take over Europe, because once they have landing spots, they will come for us. And then finally, number 3, he lays out his vision. Now his vision starts at paragraph 49 and then concludes, of course, beginning at paragraph 59 with the 4 freedoms. Again, notice freedom of speech and expression. Notice the universal, inclusive language, not just in America, but freedom, notice he says, everywhere in the world. The second, freedom of every person to worship God in his own way. You want to underline or circle that, in his own way, everywhere in the world. In other words, whether you want to believe and worship in a God or you don't, you should have that freedom. And then, of course, the third freedom is to begin the freedom from. Freedom from want, notice, which translated into world terms means economic understandings which will secure to every nation a healthy peacetime life for its inhabitants everywhere in the world. So notice the universality of the argument that he's making. He is arguing that America can help to provide freedom to all the world. And then finally, of course, the freedom from fear, which, notice, in both of these, he translates it into world terms means, notice, as opposed to American terms, a worldwide reduction of armaments to such a point and in such a thorough fashion that no nation will be in a position to commit an act of physical aggression against any neighbor anywhere in the world. Now, obviously, this is a vision. He calls it a vision in paragraph 63, but he says it's no vision of a distant millennium. It is a definite basis for a kind of world attainable in our time and generation. That kind of world is the very, and then I want you to square the next word, antithesis, the opposite of the so-called new order of tyranny which the dictators seek to create with the crash of a bomb. It is significant that he will then finish with a powerful statement of commitment. This nation has placed its destiny. Now, let's just pause for a moment and point out, FDR is also channeling Abraham Lincoln and the Gettysburg Address. In fact, if you lay the Gettysburg Address next to this speech, you will see many, many similarities, especially these last words. How does Lincoln finish the Gettysburg Address? Of the people, by the people, for the people shall not perish. Here he'll say, this nation has placed its destiny in the hands and heads and hearts. Notice the Trinity, the threes, of its millions of free men and women, and its faith in freedom under the guidance of God. Now again, we are back to this Declaration of Independence language. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal and endowed by their Creator, the mention of God twice in that line. Freedom means the supremacy of human rights everywhere. It is a compelling line, and it is the line that many will say gives birth to the new upcoming world order that will happen, in fact, in the world, of course, especially after the war is ended because of American involvement. He continues and finishes, our support goes to those who struggle to gain those rights or keep them. Our strength, notice we go from our support to our strength, is to our unity of purpose, right? In other words, we're all in this together. To that high concept, there can be no end save victory. Now, you can jot down what is significant that he uses the word victory as the very last word of the speech, as we have it here in our volume. Now, let's jump really quickly to 2A. What is the primary message here that you want to gain? The belief, the notion that all humans everywhere should have human rights, freedom of those 4 freedoms. Let's jump really quickly to 2B. This is a speech. What do you find as being the great lines of this speech? The lines that will resonate for you? The short and then long variations. So notice, for example, the repetitions again of 52, 53, 54. We should bring more citizens. We should widen the opportunities. We should plan a better system. And then notice, I have called for personal sacrifice. Notice, short line. I'm assured of the willingness of almost all Americans to respond to that call. Did you notice he said almost? So he doesn't say all Americans are going to agree with me, but almost all Americans will agree with me. And then, of course, he will talk about what that sacrifice will involve as he moves into paragraph 56. All right, 3A, obviously the great speeches. Go back and study them again, or the great documents in American thought, Declaration of Independence. For example, we say in the Declaration of Independence that one of the most important things that can happen is what we will call the consideration of the historical precedent, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands that have connected them to another, blah, 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 blah. The idea is, when you write, you always ask, what has been considered or written on this in the past? Notice right away in paragraph 3 on page 269, since the permanent formation of our government under the Constitution in 1789, most of the periods of crisis in our history have related to our domestic affairs. So he begins from the very beginning of America. Well, how does Lincoln play the game in Gettysburg Address? 47 years ago, our forefathers brought forth on this continent a new nation. So he goes back to Jefferson. Of course, MLK does the same thing in the famous I Have a Dream speech. So we're able to compare this speech with other important speeches that will be given. Finally, at 3B, to own a speech like this, a text like this, what are your thoughts about freedom? To what degree do you think about the importance of freedom of speech? It is what makes us as Americans such an important nation in the history of the world. All other nations have to grapple with the question, do we want to allow freedom of speech the way Americans in their Constitution allow for it? What about freedom of religion? The ability to believe what you want to believe in terms of your personal affairs, in terms of your religious affairs. And then, to what degree do you think it's fair that we should all be free from want? We all should have basic needs provided for us, no matter who we are, no matter what family we're born into, etc., etc. And then finally, is it true that we should have freedom from fear? That is to say, we shouldn't always be walking around afraid that something terrible is going to happen to us, that we can control our own destiny, both as individuals as well as a nation. I hope this text has challenged you. Thank you.